Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to the Sim Racing Network's live coverage of the Kickass Sunday Series here in Sim500 competition. Tonight, Kentucky Speedway hosts the spot for the show tonight as we get ready to do battle here around the mile-and-a-half Kentucky Speedway. It has provided some great racing in the past. Of course, NASCAR just visited the Speedway this past weekend, put on a great show there in all three series as well. Alongside Aaron Grosskopf tonight, I am Ben Kilcrease. Aaron doing double duty, producing and on the microphone tonight for the Kick-Ass series. So go ahead and give him a round of applause already to get the show started out with as we get set to head into the race tonight. We'll take a look at the championship standings. It's Daniel Falkingham at the top of the board. Chad Coleman comes in second, 31 points behind Falkingham, and it's Daley Fuller Hightower, 42, 54, 105 points respectively. Comstock sits sixth. Tommy Ryan is seventh in the championship standings. Scott Simley is eighth. Ryan Howard ninth. Dwayne Vincent rounds out the top 10 as we inch closer and closer to the playoffs here in the Kick-Ass series. And boy, we have got a lot of heavy hitters with some wins so far this season, although some of the names we're used to seeing running up front haven't yet tasted victory lane, and we'll talk about those a little bit over the course of the run this evening. Byron Daly with the most wins, 6. He's looking for win number 7. We'll see if it can come at Kentucky tonight. But with that being said, we'll run you through the starting lineup, and here's how they'll line them up this evening. Justin Fuller will bring us to the green flag. He'll lead us all the way to the green alongside David Comstock, two drivers that have been battling up front all year long. Falkingham will take up row number 2 with the new guy on the block, Ian Hahn, who rolls off 4th in number 56. Going back to row number 3, Byron Daly looking for win number 7 tonight. Will roll off 5th in 06. Outside of him, it'll be Brian Chambliss in the 25. Randy Yoakum, good starting spot. He'll roll off 7th. Ryan Howard looking for his win here in the Kick-Ass series. He'll roll off 8th. Chris Caboo inside row number 5, and to his outside will be Jordan Hightower, number 5, number 22, respectively, as the rest of the field scrolls across the bottom of your screen. We'll see if we can't dial up tonight's pole sitter, and caught him right in the middle of a laugh. Justin Fuller, you just kind of laughing things off as we get set to drop the green here in Kentucky?
Yeah, David Comstock made a comment. We were going to have a 1, 2, 3 starting grid, but Daniel Falkingham kind of screwed that up. But yeah, I like this track. It's really tight, but got the pole, and we'll see what we can do with it.
Starting from the best starting spot on the track, what's it take to get win number 3 on the season tonight?
Luck, taking care of the tires, making sure you don't knock the fence down off turn 4, turn 2, good pit stops, pretty much just putting the whole package together. That's basically what it's going to take tonight. We got a good field here, and I expect it to be a tough race.
All right, we look forward to watching you do battle with Comstock there, and you guys have fun out on the track. We'll try to do the same up here in the booth.
Yep, enjoy the race.
Justin Fuller rolling off from the pole tonight. Aaron, he says you got to have, well, a perfect race to end up in victory lane, as you do most times here in Sim500. These things aren't easy to come by.
Yeah, I mean, and Fuller's been getting it done as of late, picking up a couple wins, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't think that you'll see anything other than a win from him tonight.
We'll certainly keep an eye on him. He's a favorite coming in to tonight after winning last week at Daytona. Nonetheless, though, we'll see what he's got against a stout field of racers tonight. Darkness getting set to fall here at the Kentucky Speedway. The lights come on around the racetrack, but the lights go off atop the iRacing.com Ford Mustang pace car. It heads down to pit road. It's Justin Fuller, David Comstock. We are racing at Kentucky. Good start by Fuller. He'll lead the field down into turn number 1. Comstock gets going good in second. Then it's Falkingham, Ian Hahn, and Byron Daly. Top 5 as they race to the back straightaway, getting pretty singled out early on. First side-by-side battle on the racetrack is going to be between Randy Yoakum in that 8 machine and the 22 of Jordan Hightower to his outside. They'll go side by side for around the 9th position. Yoakum trying to complete the pass off turn 4 there, but couldn't quite get the power down on the outside, although he'll cut the dog leg off there. Shorter distance around the racetrack, and he'll almost have the 22 clear, and he'll do the remaining part of the work there off turn number 2. So move Yoakum up to 8th. And now here comes Brian Chambliss looking to the inside of Ian Hahn. That would be for a spot inside the top 6. So Chambliss trying to complete that pass off turn 4. And go ahead and give it to him. Chambliss up to P6. Hahn had to get out of the throttle off turn 4. That opens the door for Ryan Howard to squeeze by on the inside. So here comes Howard as well by that number 56. Hahn started 4th and has found his way back in 7th already here at Kentucky. Boy, not a good way to start off. Hopefully he can rebound, and just behind him, that battle again heating up between Yoakum and Hightower early on, trying to battle it out for a spot inside the top 10. Wow, and boy, Yoakum almost got the wall off turn 4.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I noticed about the field already tonight, Ben, is there's a lot of different drivers up at the front of the field.
Certainly is. A handful of drivers. We're accustomed to seeing them up there every once in a while, but I mean, you have the top 4, which are the heavy hitters: Fuller, Comstock, Falkingham, Daly, and then Chambliss running top 5. You got to give it to him. Great run by Chambliss. They're sitting P5, and then Ryan Howard. We're used to seeing him inside the top 5, but you know, it's not out of the ordinary for him to be this far back this early on. He's sort of a late race kind of guy. He'll come alive at the end of the things. And then Ian Hahn, a new kid on the block. Haven't talked much of him, you know, as of late and as of even in this race. But new kid, had some speed in practice, showed it in qualifying, and has now found himself back around Howard and back up into the 6th spot. So Ian Hahn trying to make up some of those positions that he lost in the opening first couple laps.
Yeah, Ian Hahn, knowing what I know about him, he's been around a while. He's got a lot of experience. Obviously new to Sim500, but it's good to see new blood climbing the leaderboards, so to speak.
Absolutely. Ian Hahn has 2 starts so far this season. Sits way back 57th in the championship standings, if you're keeping up with, you know, 50 on and on back. Hahn sits 6th on the track right now, trying to chase down Brian Chambliss for a spot in top 5. Going to be preparing to get back in 8th position. Car number 8 sits P8. Doing a great job of holding his own inside the top 10. He's just ahead of Hightower and Parker, who are in a battle there for the 9th position. And then you go back right behind them, Chad Coleman, another long run type of driver, slowly starting to work his way through the field. Well, not really. He started 11th, sits 11th, so that's kind of normal for Coleman. He likes to ride for these first little bit, and then once things start to pick up closer and closer to crunch time, then he'll start making his moves up through the field. Looking back through a good majority of the rest of the field, everybody kind of just riding it out here early on. One driver back of the pack, kind of keeping my eye on, Chad Cole. He always starts at the tail end of the field. He started 23rd and has only found himself up to the 21st spot so far in this one. So we'll keep an eye on that and keep an eye on the rest of the field up here as well. Glenn Campbell, Dwayne Vincent, Tommy Ryan, they're all in a battle right there. You can throw a blanket over them down the backstretch. Some close racing there for a spot just outside the top 10. Around 11th, 12th position is what they're battling for. Go ahead and throw Chris Caboo into that battle as well. And that bright number 5 machine as they head down the front stretch. All 5 cars tail to nose and really putting on a good show as they race down into turn number 1, working lap 10 of 110. So at the line, it'll be 100 laps to go. And Aaron, Kentucky is one of those tracks that really shapes up to be a long green flag run type of track, and certainly looking that way tonight. And for all these drivers in the field, you know what that means. You got to start saving these tires immediately. You know, it's almost sounds crazy to say, but you got to take it easy on the first part of the runs. That way you can have some left over when it gets just a little bit before time to head down pit road.
Yeah, and as you saw, Chris Cabot lost a lot of positions because this track will turn into, I mean, I haven't ran it in a couple builds, but I'm pretty sure it turns into a single groove racetrack. And he just got out of the groove, and that whole group that was behind him went by him.
Yep. Kind of like the sucker hole effect at Talladega or Daytona. If you get hung out to dry, you are, and they're lined up behind you, well, you're going to lose a couple spots. Hate it for you, but that's just how it works out. Bottom line going to be pretty dominant throughout the majority of the run, but I do believe we'll see the middle and high grooves start to come in, especially down in 3 and 4, maybe even over in 1 and 2. You see the cars don't quite go all the way down to the yellow line in 3 and 4. A couple drivers venture down there in 1 and 2, but the middle groove is more preferred down in 1 and 2. Got a good race up for the runner-up spot just in front of all those guys. It's David Comstock fending off Falkingham. Daly is there as well, and right behind them, though, it's a real big battle for 5th. You got Chambliss and Hahn and Howard, and even throw Yoakum in there, too, as they race for the top 5 spot. Down the front straightaway, Hahn didn't get off turn 4 like he wanted to, and that has allowed Howard to peek his nose to the outside of that 56, but Hahn going to slide up in front of him down in 1 and 2. Boy, he may have overdrove the entrance to turn 1 there. Hahn way up the racetrack, out of the groove, and now here comes Ryan Howard to the inside, looking to capitalize on that mistake. Howard looking to get the 6th position away from the 56.
Yeah, what a good move by the 33 to dive it in there and notice that he overdrove and just stuck it in there really quick, and it looks like he's gaining that position. But they are really battling for that position, and I got to give kudos early on to Randy Yoakum. I mean, we don't see him in the top 10 that often, and he's really putting it together so far tonight.
Having a great run as Randy Yoakum sits 8th and battling for 7th or 6th right there with Ryan Howard as well. Look at Ian Hahn back to the inside, a crossover move on the 33. He says, I made a mistake trying to get the position away from Chambliss, and boy, Howard takes it from him, and he really didn't like it. I feel Hahn tried to get it back from Howard, but doesn't quite have the car this early on, and he sends it down into 1 and 2, almost makes contact with the 33 in the center of the turn. That puts Howard up the racetrack, maybe got aero tight on the 33 off of turn number 2. Now Howard and Hahn go side by side again for that 6th position. Some great racing, and they're going to get tight off turn 4 as Hahn walks it up the racetrack. A push there from the 56. Here comes Yoakum to the outside. Yoakum bump him up to 7th there at the line. And don't look now, but here come Josh Parker, Jordan Hightower, Chad Coleman, and even Glenn Campbell to join in on that battle for the 6th. Hahn gets a little loose off turn 2. Here comes Parker to the inside. So Hahn, what started off as one mistake, has turned into many, and now he's up out of the groove again. Hightower tags the apron below him, drifts up the racetrack, and that'll be a side-by-side battle for 9th on the racetrack. And if Hahn's not careful, he's going to find himself outside the top 10.
One thing I'm noticing early on, Ben, is as you talked about the sucker hole, it's really, really bad with the track conditions tonight, man. You get hung out, you make mistakes, and you fall back a good ways with this new build.
Absolutely. A lot of momentum-based racing here, especially on the Xfinity cars. You got to keep the momentum up best you can, and if you do anything to break that momentum, look at Hightower. Tagged the apron, got ever so out of shape, and loses 5 car lengths to Hahn and almost lost a position to Chad Coleman. Just a little bit of break in momentum there. That's all it takes. Is here comes Coleman now looking to the inside of Hightower. That'll be for a top 10 spot. Chad Coleman trying to work his way into the top 10 for the first time tonight. And with that pass in turn 4, he'll do just that. Bump Chad Coleman to P10. Hightower back to 11th. And things kind of simmering down in that battle right there, at least for now. While we were watching that, Daniel Falkingham was able to get around the 42 of Comstock. Those drivers still 1.2 seconds behind leader Justin Fuller, who has had a dominant run so far tonight, out in front and not looking back. Here at Kentucky is the 51 of Fuller, and these kind of tracks like this really suit his driving style. Chicagoland comes to mind. Very similar shape to Kentucky. He likes Chicagoland. He likes this place. He's fast here, and they're doing everything they can to catch him, but he is still pulling away. 1.3 that time. Here comes Josh Parker up through the field. He gets around the 33 of Ryan Howard. Parker started in 12th and has found his way up to 7th. That's 5 spots in 21 laps. Now he sets his sights on Randy Yoakum, who sits 7th, who is chasing Brian Chambliss, Yoakum is 6th. Brian Chambliss sits 5th.
And I want to touch on it again. And Randy Yoakum, man, he I don't know what it is, what he's changed, but he is running good tonight.
Great run. Sits 6th, almost a top 5 run for Yoakum, and he's closing in on Chambliss ever so slightly, lap by lap. He's getting closer and closer to that top 5. It'd be great to see Randy finish top 5, maybe even a podium at the end of this thing. Anything's possible, especially under the lights here at Kentucky. We've seen that in the past. Back for 9th on the racetrack, 8th rather. Well, it is 9th. Hahn trying to fend off Chad Coleman. Coleman wants to move up the ladder, but Hahn gonna put a halt to that, at least for the time being. He'll try again down in 4. Here comes Coleman to the inside, gonna push up, almost gets into the door of the 56, has to let out, and look there, break of momentum, and just like that, he is gonna lose a spot. So he goes from almost getting a spot to almost losing a spot. And how about Yoakum on the attack on Brian Chambliss for 5th. They're side by side down the back straightaway. Yoakum sent it down into 1 and 2. Almost made contact with Chambliss. Now Chambliss up the racetrack, and here we are 3 wide at Kentucky. That's going to get tied off turn 4, but they make it work. Randy Yoakum to 5th. Josh Parker going to go to 6th as Chambliss falls back to 7th, and trying to hold off now Ryan Howard, who's looking to the inside. Howard side by side with the 25. Good racing in the middle of the pack here at Kentucky. And, we're pretty late to run here. 25 green flag laps on these guys. We're almost a quarter of the way through this deal.
Yeah, and I mean, these 3 cars, the 8, the 23, and the 33, they're on the move, man, as we're wrecking.
Oh, they're crashing over in turn 4, and it involves Brian Chambliss. Looks like Hahn, Chambliss come together, and that sends Chambliss up the racetrack. Coleman got a piece of it. Hahn got a big piece of it. Campbell got a big chunk of that as well. That puts us under the caution for the first time tonight, and they crashed even further behind that. John Mustin Jr. getting into Dan Denaire. Just a big one over in turn number 4, putting us under the caution for the first time. And I thought there for a second we were going to go green the whole way. Nonetheless, so field heads down to pit road for the first time tonight. I can assure you we'll see 4 tires on all the cars. So while pit stops take place, we'll head to a quick commercial break. We'll update you on how they come out and everybody shapes up down on pit road. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Kickass series live on the Sim Racing Network at Sim500 competition from Kentucky. We'll be back right after this.
Analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Welcome back to Kentucky. Lights off on the pace, getting set for the first restart of the night. It's Daniel Fockingham beating Justin Fuller off of pit road. So Fockingham will lead us back to the green flag alongside Fuller. Then it's Comstock Daly. Chambliss was scored fifth at the line, but he won't restart fifth. It'll be Yoakum, Parker, Howard, Simley, Ryan, and Vincent. The top 10 as things get shaken up after that crash. Couple notables: Paul Nicholas Cooper, 2 laps down. John Mushton, 1 lap down. 25 cars still on the lead lap as we get set to restart this deal over in turn number 4. It'll be Daniel Fockingham leading for the first time tonight. We'll see what he can do out in clean air, or we'll see if Justin Fuller takes the lead back away from him pretty quickly. We'll find out here in a matter of about 100 feet. Pace car set to pull down onto pit road. Fockingham, Fuller side by side. It's up to Fockingham whenever this restart occurs, and he chooses now. We're back underway. Good restart for the 39, and a good restart there for Fuller as well. Daly on the gas early on, looking to maybe take third away from David Comstock as they race down into turn number 1 and 2. Look at Yoakum and Parker going at it. Yoakum pushed up, almost got the side of the 23. Close call there, but everybody keeps it straight. We stay green to the back stretch and battle for third. Give it to Daly from the outside line. He'll take it away from Comstock, and boy, they get close to the wall. They're off turn 4. Here comes Fuller on the attack, trying to get the lead back from Fockingham.
Yeah, man, restarts in these newer builds of iRacing are such a fun thing to watch as a broadcaster.
They get wild, don't they?
Yes, they do. And Byron Daly, man, inching up there. You know, maybe it's the Ross Chastain power of that paint scheme that he's running.
Started back in 5th, up to 3rd. Not a big move, but, you know, albeit those are the toughest cars in the field to get around, so he's gotten around 2 so far. So Daly up to 3rd, looking for win number 7 on the season here tonight at Kentucky. Here comes Fuller closing in on Fockingham. That's a battle for the lead Up front, here comes Fuller. Falkingham able to beat him off pit road. Fuller dominated the first quarter of this race under green flag conditions. We're on board with the 51 as they race down into turn number 1 and 2. Fuller trying to get that lead back away from the 39. Great battle up front. Great battles throughout the field as well. As we're talking about that under the commercial break. These guys are just putting on a great show for us here at Kentucky. A little bit further back in the field, 2 birthday boys going at it. Joey Jatina, Jonathan Lockhart in a small battle for 14th there for a brief moment. Lockhart got a little tight and pushed up the racetrack, which allowed the field to get a run on it. And now they're 3 wide down the backstretch and heading down into turn number 3 with Hightower in the mix there. Jeff Ryan was the meat and the sandwich there for a brief moment. Chad Cole in that mix. Great racing at the back here as well. Just inside the top 20 there. Just in front of those guys, a line of cars from about 5th all the way back to 11th being led by the 23 of Josh Parker. Randy Yoakum's there, Ryan Howard, Tommy Ryan now up in the mix, Scott Simley, Chad Coleman, that's the 5th through 10th, as that battle's still going on for the lead. Got a small battle for 3rd there as well, as Comstock trying to get around the 0-6 up at Byron Daly. These guys just going at it as we're about 1/3 now complete with this 110 lapper at Kentucky in the Kickass series. So glad everybody's tuned in. Tonight's race brought to you by Kickass Beef Jerky, serving the Midwest and many states out west, and serving nationwide. If you go to kickassbeefjerky.com, find find your favorite flavor, get it shipped straight to your door. Kickassbeefjerky.com is where you go to find your flavor. You can get some samples if you'd like of the different flavors they have. So a lot of stuff over there at kickassbeefjerky.com. Proud sponsor of the Kickass Sunday series here in Sim500 competition. David Comstock. Go ahead.
I have yet to try it, Ben. I have yet to try it, but I hear it's really good from other drivers in the league that have tried it.
Yeah, a lot of members have tried it, but I'm still waiting for our Kickass care package. We give them good shout out on the broadcast. I think they'd hit us up with a couple beef sticks or something.
I'm down for it.
Up for third, it's Comstock trying to get around Byron Daly, but can't quite find the grip he needs to make the pass. Just at least in this part of the run, Comstock right there on the bumper, but doesn't really want to force the issue. Comstock more of a conservative type of driver, doing everything he can to make that car last all the way to the end of the race. Randy Yoakum fending off Ryan Howard for 6th. Howard's tried past couple times down in 1 and 2 to get the run on the inside, but he couldn't make anything happen. So good job by Randy Yoakum holding on to that 6th spot, and Yoakum losing a little bit of touch between he and Parker, but still within striking distance if Parker were to make a mistake. It's Yoakum, Howard, Ryan, and Simley all tail to nose there in a small battle for what would be the 6th position.
Yeah, and again, Randy Yoakum, man, shocking the world, as Ross Chastain did when he won at Daytona. Shocking the world tonight at Kentucky for 500 racing.
Doing a great job. And Parker, haven't seen his name in a while. Now I've had a lot of off time lately, so Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong, but Parker hasn't been around the Sim500 scene regularly the past month or so, and he's jumped back in here at Kentucky and running great. Started 12th and is up to 5th, probably the biggest mover so far of the night. And he's not slowing down. He is closing in on that battle for 3rd between Comstock and Daly.
Yeah, Josh Parker, he came back, say, maybe a week or two ago. For those of you at home that don't know, Josh Parker is one of the drivers for the NASCAR Heat Pro League. He drives for Chip Ganassi Racing's team, and starting to make some cameo appearances back at Sim500 recently.
So, jumps back in the seat here on an iRacing service and doing a great job tonight as a driver of that number 23 here at Kentucky. Yoakum holding off Howard, but Howard all over the rear bumper. Look at the run down the back stretch for the 33. Here comes Howard looking to the inside. They'll go side by side down into turns number 3 and 4. Yoakum way up the track. Howard down low. And a caution on the racetrack, the second one of the night. Coming out on lap number 43. This one going to be involving, yet again, Brian Chambliss. And it is a impact with the wall and a spin down the back straightaway solo. As we get the replay pulled up, big impact into the inside safety barrier there for Chambliss, putting us under caution for the second time here tonight. Pushed up into the wall and lost control of the car after that. Did the 25 of Chambliss. That'll allow the leaders to head down to the service of their pit crews, allow us to head to the service of a commercial break. So don't go anywhere. You'll see the pit stops happen on corner to corner. But we're going to take a break up here in the booth. So we'll be back from Kentucky Speedway in the Kickass series here at Sim500. You're watching it live on the Sim Racing Network. We'll be back.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to Kentucky Speedway here in the Sim500 Kickass Sunday Series live on the Sim Racing Network. We're going to see if we can't dial up one of the drivers inside the top 5. Randy Yoakum, Ben Kilcrease up in the SRN booth. Got a copy?
10-4, Ben. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, we're doing good, Randy. You're doing well on the racetrack as well. Top 5. And by the way, that driver just in front of you there has 6 wins this season. Now, when I'm on the racetrack, I think that's pretty awesome. If I can ride behind somebody with 6 wins, what's it going to take to get around him and, keep him from getting that 7th win tonight?
Well, he's an awful tough character, and been watching the tire wear here a little bit, and on these runs. That's about the only way that you can get an advantage on somebody is to, take care of your tires.
Tire management real big, especially with the long green runs we're getting. I see you guys are lights out now, so wish you luck in the rest of this race, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you on the podium at the end of the thing.
Thanks, Ben.
There you have it. Randy Yoakum having a fantastic run. Top 5 tonight here at Kentucky. Still early on, closing in though on a halfway point here in the Bluegrass State. It's Falkingham winning the race off pit road again. And I don't know if Fuller was just playing with him there on that restart, Aaron, or not, but 51 didn't look quite as good in clean air, as he did behind that 39.
Yeah, and that's always, that's a big thing in these cars as we get ready to go green here. The dirty air makes such a big difference. The lead is so valuable.
Certainly is, and we're going to wave the restart off here for, I'm not sure of the reason. It was the 56 spun on the back straightaway and delayed the restart. So that was a interesting turn of events. Wow. So allows a couple of drivers to maybe stop in, top off, as now we turn the lights off top DIRacing.com. Ford Mustang pace car. We'll try it again. Top 10 as we get set for this restart. Falkingham, Fuller, Comstock, Daly, Yoakum, Parker, Howard, Coleman, Simley, and Gillenwater. Up from 25th to 10th, so big mover there. Bob Gillenwater in the number 4, 15 spots just in front of him. Simley is up from 16th to 9th. 7 spots there. So we got a couple big movers in the top 10. Chad Cole, if you're kind of wondering about the 82, usually a threat. It's we're not even halfway yet, but I think Chad's struggling tonight. He's back there 17th. Hasn't really made a lot of big moves. Maybe he didn't get a lot of practice here at Kentucky. That could be a determining factor there. So we'll keep an eye on the big cat as the run goes on as well. Up front, though, it's Falkingham in control of the field on this restart. Pace car to pit road. This time we are going green. He's back in the gas real early. That time we're back racing.
And what a start by Falkingham as we get close to contact between the 51 and the 06.
Close call there indeed. Looked like Comstock was coming up the racetrack, the arc down into turn 1, and Daly was kind of going down this either draft to 51 or side draft to 42, and look how close they are down in 3 and 4. Comstock and Daly going at it up front here for a spot inside the top 3, and here comes Josh Parker in the mix as well. The 23 up to 5th, and on the bumper of David Comstock as they raced out into 1.
Yeah, battle's heating up on the restart spin as we talked about before. Parker just getting tired of sitting behind these guys, trying to get all he can get on the restarts.
Certainly is. You heard Randy Yoakum talk about it, though. He said tire wear is not the only way you can gain an advantage on these drivers. So maybe his strategy is to go easy early on, catch him later in the run. Parker, on the other hand, could be going harder early on, trying to get by everybody and sort of defending a little bit later on. Here comes Parker to the inside of the 42. He's got to run to the back straightaway. That will be for 4th as Comstock slips up a little bit out of the groove. And here comes the 23 to the inside. He'll take the spot. Big move down into turn number 3. Parker a slide job off turn 4. Here comes Comstock, though, a crossover down through the tri-oval, and Comstock going to grab the position back at the line, down into 1 and 2. Comstock now on the bottom. Parker on the middle side of the racetrack. He runs him all the way against the apron. Comstock can't quite get the run off the turn. Dead even drag race down into turn number 3. Do we see the big run from Comstock? Does he send it in? Look for the slider. Can't quite clear the 23. Side by side. Again off of turn number 4. Great racing for the 4th spot, as Parker now going to grab it there at the line, and he's looking to bring Ryan Howard with him right around the outside of that 42.
Yeah, and I think what you saw there from Parker is just seeing what he could get away with enough time in the race to make up ground if he lost ground, Ben.
Absolutely. Big move, power move in 3 and 4. A couple laps to go from Parker. The slide job worked for him. And now look at Howard. Outside opened up, and he stuck it right out there to the outside of the 42 and is looking to get that position away. That'll be for a top 5 position. Here comes Ryan Howard looking to get P5 away from the 42. Side by side they go to the back straightaway. Some great racing up here at the front of the field. By the way, not missing anything in the battle for the lead is kind of Fuller just riding behind Falkingham for the time being as Comstock clears the 33 back down in 3 and 4. And maybe not. Here comes Howard. A run down the front stretch, but Comstock protecting that middle and outside line. Comstock holds on fit, at least for the time being. Behind them, it's Randy Yoakum who's falling back to 7th. Here's Chandler Coleman up to 8th.
Yeah, but I think what we're seeing from Randy Yoakum is he's just trying to save tires. He doesn't have the speed to keep up with the guys in front of him, but he's trying to have the tires past some of these guys. If not, just try to get a good finish and stay where he is. Good point stay for the 8.
Absolutely. So we'll keep an eye on Yoakum, kind of a tire management race 48 machine as we just clear that halfway point here at Kentucky. And up front, here comes Fuller all over the bumper of Falkingham.
Yeah, Fuller's getting tired of riding in this dirty air. He wants to get out there and pull away again like he did in the beginning of the race, Ben.
Certainly. So we'll keep an eye on that. Just halfway here at Kentucky. Perfect time for us to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. You won't miss the action. Look on corner to corner. We'll be back right here from the Kickass series. You're watching live on the SRN.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah. Isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
Welcome back to Kentucky. Caution flies here at the Bluegrass State, or in the Bluegrass State, and you know, I'm not sure what the caution was for. I haven't really found an issue yet around the racetrack, so that's certainly interesting. Oh, it was for Glenn Campbell in the 44. Got it turned sideways and into the wall. So Campbell spins her around down the back stretch. Single car incident there for the 44. Third caution of the night. Just past the halfway point. Here comes the field heading down to pit road, led by Falkingham, and we're going to see if he's going to win the race off pit road again, or if it's going to be maybe going to go to Justin Fuller. Can Fuller get back out in clean airs? Still taking a look at the replay there as field down pit road on the live side of things. I'll keep you updated there. Some great racing here in Kentucky. And Byron Daly just took 2 tires. He and Coleman took 2 tires, and they're going to lead the field back to the green flag. Wow. Big move there. I don't know if I agree with that A whole lot, Aaron, but you know, that was right at 10 laps on that run. Maybe it's going to loosen their cars up for them. You know, if they feel that's what it's going to do, why not take a swing at it? We're just a little bit past halfway. You have a little bit of time to rebound if it doesn't go the way you want it. You know, we'll certainly find out here. That's an interesting call.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Ben. I mean, there's plenty of time because I think these guys are fast enough that they could still stay up front with the guys they've been racing with all race. Because the two drivers that are trying it are really class of the field type drivers.
Absolutely. So, kind of restack everything for you here. 50 to go. Justin Fuller took the lead from the pole position early on, led a good portion of the race, and then we had a caution around lap 25. Then it was Daniel Fockingham who won the race off pit road. We had another caution. Fockingham again won the race off pit road, and those two have kind of been battling ever since. Now with this most recent caution flying just past halfway point, we had Byron Daly and Chad Coleman decide to take 2 tires, which has now put them out in front of the field. So we'll see how this shakes out here once we get the green back in the air. We haven't really seen a 2-tire pit stop so far tonight. We haven't really had a short enough run to sort of warrant a 2-tire pit stop. But if, you know, Byron Daly's won 6 of these things so far, Aaron, you know, the last thing I'm going to do is question this guy and his team's ability to win a race.
Yeah, but with the way this race seems to be playing out, as far as tires, as we've been saying all night, I don't know. I mean, but then again, this is why we're in the booth and they're the drivers.
Absolutely, I'm stumped. I'll admit it. I am a little stumped, but we'll see. I mean, this could be the call to race. You know, if it loosens their car up, we know this is a tight car. If it loosens their car up enough for them, they could, you know, run away with this thing and sell off the victory. So we'll see. Just under 50 to go, 48 to be exact when we get the green flag here off of turn number 4. Top 10 as we get set to go back racing. Daly, Coleman, Fockingham, Fuller, Parker, Comstock, Howard, Denaire, Ryan Yoakum. Top 10 as we get set to restart here on lap number 62. 24 cars on the lead lap. John Mustin Jr., Glenn Campbell, 1 lap down. Brian Wertman, 25 laps down. 27 cars still on the track. 1 car behind them all. That's Paul Nicholas Cooper. Here we go. Daly, Coleman on 2 tires. This is going to get wild. How about let's turn it up right here on the Sim Racing Network. We're just going to go quiet for a lap and enjoy the sounds and the feel of these cars around Kentucky. Daly leads Fuller, who was able to slice his way around Chad Coleman to find himself up to second. Perfect position for the 51 to regain the lead if that's what he's trying to do. But for the moment, Daly and Coleman holding their own inside the top 3. They haven't fallen back at all. The only person who's gained a position on him will be Justin Fuller, and he did that down in turn 1 on the restart. 3 wide behind a mid-pack, almost 4 wide through the tri-oval with Chris Cabu, Scott Simley, and Dan Denaire there just inside the top 10. Some close racing in the middle of the pack there. Holy cow. Look at that. Oh, man, they're all covered up down the back stretch. 2 by 2 by 2. Looks like Daytona last week. Man, those guys are battling back there. Oh, Doy Woods and Gaboo almost come together. Trying to keep an eye on that. Trying to keep an eye on the battle up front. That was Gillenwater, my bad, and the 4 back there. Two pretty identical cars here in the 5, and they're 3 wide again. Here comes Hightower through the middle of Denaire and Jatina. What a show these guys are putting on. A lot of great action around the racetrack. You got this battle. You got the battle for the lead up front, which is still held on to by Byron Daly for now, but Fuller is there. He is all over the rear bumper of that 06, and he wants his lead back. He started off this race, thought it was going to go green, may have been the best thing for the 51. And then after that, he has just been beaten off of pit road a couple of times, but held on. And down the front stretch, he's got to run. Can't do anything this time in 1 and 2, but maybe a different story next lap. 68 of 110 on the board now. Look at Comstock all over the bumper of Falkingham. Almost some contact back there for the 4th spot. Too much action on the racetrack. Here comes Fuller. Got the run. Almost contact. Little bit of contact for the lead.
Yeah, Ben, and I talked about it, a couple times. The clean air is making up so much time for Byron Daly with those 2 tires. The clean air is so valuable, man, tonight.
Certainly is. So maybe clean air is more key over tires. If you're talking about the lead, certainly could be, as we're seeing it happen right in front of our very eyes. 10-lap-old left side tires on that 06, and it really hasn't phased him. He's pulled away. Oh, Comstock got a piece of the wall off turn 2. Didn't get a piece of the wall. He got a piece of the 23, and that slid him up the racetrack. He almost got into the wall. But 42 falls outside the top 5. Loses a handful of positions. Dropped him back to a race low of 8. 40 to go here at Kentucky.
Yeah, and Comstock it seems like that he just needs clean air as well. He just really needs clean air, Ben. I don't know what else to say about his night, because he's been so up and down. He hasn't fell too far back. He's close enough and for Comstock to make stuff happen, but the clean air is just such a precedence tonight, more than usual.
Absolutely. He started second, and, since lap 1, he hasn't been higher than 3rd or 4th the rest of the race. So it seems that goes to tell you right there, clean air definitely more of a virtue, more of a advantage. Yeah, more valuable, more of an advantage here at Kentucky than anything else, really, including left side tires. Byron Daly, I thought he was going to be thrown to the wolves. 10-lap-old left side tires. And here comes Fuller to the inside. Not quite there. Doesn't have a bumper. Daly with the run down the back straightaway. Now, those tires not taking a big effect now, but 30 laps or so into a run is when they really start to whine, when you really start to feel, that maybe you should have taken 4 tires. But if you didn't take the 2 tires, he wouldn't be in the lead right now. Justin Fuller right on the bumper. Daly trying to fend him off as we close in on the closing stages of this race. Lap 74 of 110 here at Kentucky, and boy, this has been a great race all race long. Every position on the track has had a battle at some point, and we have been treated to a dandy here tonight in the Bluegrass State. Tonight's broadcast is part of our Triple Threat streaming service here at the Sim Racing Network. You can find this live broadcast on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, and on the screen now you'll find the links to each one of those pages. Be sure to give us a like and follow, and on YouTube subscribe to us so you can be notified whenever we go live. Battle for the lead, battle for third, battle for fifth, battle for seventh, battle for 11th, for 13th, and on back. We can't keep our eye on one battle. There's just so much great racing around the racetrack. How about Ryan Howard and Josh Parker going at it? Here comes David Comstock getting back around the 99, who almost got the wall off turn 2. Comstock back up to 7th now, seeing if he can work his way back up into maybe a top 5 position before the end of this deal. I tell you what, Justin Fuller is eating the rear bumper of Byron Daly through the turns. He hasn't touched him yet, but he is all over that Chevrolet Camaro.
Yeah, he's got to be getting tired of it. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Oh, we got the wall.
Yeah, Fuller gets into the wall there. Came off the corner a little high. And that's just going to let Byron Daly set sail. And now Fuller, I don't think Fuller has enough car to run him back now, but we'll see.
You know, it's almost signature of Fuller. Once he gets the wall once, that's not the first time in the race. He'll hit it a couple more times, and he can't do that tonight if he wants to win this thing. He got a little tight behind Daly, maybe running too close to him, pushed himself up and into the wall. So maybe he's got to learn from that mistake. He's already closed back in. He's closing back in again. It's down to 3 car lengths to Daly. Fuller with the damage on the right side, trying to get back up to Byron Daly, who also has a little bit of right side damage. So hasn't slowed Daly down, and doesn't look like it's slowing Fuller down either. Down into 1 and 2. Fuller closing in, but let's go back to Josh Parker and Daniel Falkingham. The battle for 4th and 5th right there as Ryan Howard's in the mix, and Coleman right in front of him too. Final podium position up for grabs in that gaggle of cars. And we'll remind you, Coleman again, Aaron, if you recall, on the 2-tire strategy as well. And I don't think it's faring as well for him as it is for Daly.
Well, he didn't get the clean air. Like, that's the bad thing. Only one car can get clean air, Ben.
That is 100% true. And to the back straightaway, it's looking like Falkingham was going to have a run on him. Did not. So he'll have to try again down the front stretch. But these guys covered up from 3rd on back to now 7th with Comstock closing back in on the mix. So 5 cars going to be battling for a podium position here in a matter of a lap or so. Comstock has caught the tail end of that pack. He wants to get back up and into the top 5. He's got a couple of cars separating himself in that, though, as they race to the back straightaway. 30 laps to go now at Kentucky.
And what an outstanding race. We get some outstanding races with the Sim500 group, man. I mean, it's just a joy to watch. You see Falkingham finally get under Coleman, and I think he will complete the pass by the time they exit the corner.
Howard also getting around Josh Parker, but Parker now cutting it back to the inside. Falkingham gets tight, has the check up, and that allows Coleman to blow right back around the outside of the 39. So can't quite complete the pass for the 3rd spot. Falkingham, championship leader, going to have to rebound and try it again in a couple laps. But time running out here at Kentucky as Parker going to get passed by Comstock as well. Down into turn number 1 and 2. And Justin Fuller. Oh my, the worst. Okay, so a scare there for Fuller for a brief moment. Internet connection issue problems for the 51. But back on track, and he almost got the wall again. Off of turn number 4, a slight tap. You saw the sparks fly. Overdriving, maybe trying to get around that 06 of Byron Daly.
Yeah, I think it's a factor of overdriving, connection issues. You know, he's trying to get them all these guys. He's just driving. He needs to calm down. You know, let the tires cool off a little bit. He's got better tires than Daly. He's just got to get there. And now he's going to start all over again.
Oh, and he's almost in the wall again. And with him running as hard as he is, making mistakes, that has allowed Coleman to close in on the 51. We may have a 6 or 7 car battle for the lead before this is all said and done with. Here comes Fockingham trying to get around Coleman. Coleman has held on to that 3rd spot really well since that restart when he took the 2 tires, but I think it's catching up to him. Fockingham looking outside, can't get there, trying to get there, close on the front stretch. Does Fockingham try the outside? Does he try the inside? Howard says, if you don't go low, I'll go low on you. Battle for 4th. Howard to the inside of Fockingham. Can't complete the pass down low. He'll have to slide up in front of Comstock to the back straightaway. Oh, he's going to leave the door open. Howard leaves the door open for the 42. That's a good way to lose a spot, and you'll see why right here in turn 4. Look at Comstock. Bam, up against the wall, just like Fuller on the front stretch. He got the wall again.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems like there's no grip in the bottom line. You can't make that pass anymore. So the top line with the momentum is the place to be right now, Ben.
Certainly is, and you know, I called it. I said signature Fuller fashion to hit the wall more, or hit the wall a couple more times after the first time, and he's kind of living up to that tonight. Not good for him, but certainly good for the drivers behind him. That has allowed them to close the door all the way to the bumper of the 51. They have caught Fuller. Do they have anything for Byron Daly, though, is the question. If Fockingham can get around Coleman, can he run down the 0.6 of Byron Daly? Fuller's had his chance. He blew it. Now Fockingham maybe has a shot. Here comes Comstock, though, looking low. But the grip just not down there on that inside line.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Ben, Byron Daly is loving watching in his mirror, if he even is. I doubt he is. He is loving seeing those guys catch Fuller, because if they catch Fuller, he's just going to pull away more. He's just running his race, running the laps he needs to run, and he's just enjoying it right now.
He's got a 1-second lead over Chad Coleman, 1.09 to Fockingham. Although those guys look like they caught him that time in 3 and 4, and the telemetry says they did. By 2/10, they cut the lead down on Daly. Here comes Fockingham. He's had enough. He says, I got to get by you, Coleman. I've got a race to win. So close. Can he clear him down the backstretch? No. Now he's going to have to deal with Fuller in 3 and 4, but Coleman's not done putting up a fight. They'll go side by side. Fockingham gets on the throttle to clear the 20. He'll slide up the racetrack, though. Got to watch out for that wall in turn 4. Fockingham up to 3rd. Now he'll set his sights on Fuller and try and close the gap to Byron Daly.
Yeah, but the thing that Fockenham's gotta realize and watch out. I mean, you just kind of gotta let it come to you. Don't overdrive your car, because you gotta have a little bit of car left to catch Byron Daly.
Absolutely. Fockingham looking to the outside of Fuller. Coleman to the inside of Fockingham. Fockingham, a run off turn 4. Fuller up and into the wall. There's contact between the two behind him. Fockingham sideways. He gathers it up. Coleman gathers it up. The beneficiary of that is David Comstock, and he'll take 3rd down into turn number 1 and 2 with Parker and Howard following in suit, 4th and 5th, and now that's the battle on the racetrack.
And I told you, David Comstock, you know, he'll figure out a way to make it work. And it's playing right to him again. We've seen it time and time again for the driver of the 42, man.
And you mentioned it right before it happened. Yeah, talking to Fockingham, said you just got to let it come to you, and he was wanting to get by the 51. Fuller almost up and into the wall, had to check up, and that's where calamity struck for Fockingham. I think he had a chance to win the race, but now he's mired back in 7th position, just as Comstock was not too many laps ago. Comstock has found himself up to 3rd, albeit 1.2 seconds out of the lead.
Well, you knew something was going to happen. Hell of a save by those drivers, by the way. I want to throw that in there. I mean, there was a lot of cars close together, and they were cutting and dicing and momentum lines. And I mean, it was just drivers going for the same spot. There was nothing you can do there.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, I just look back and look who has come out of the weeds. Chad Cole has found himself inside the top 10, and he is closing in on these guys. He may not have anything for a top 5, but he is certainly there. Now David Comstock gets by Justin Fuller with 15 laps to go, 16 to go. The lead is 1.1. He's got to cut in just under a 10th a second a lap off Byron Daly's lead if he's going to catch him.
Yeah, but I mean, David's pretty much kept his tires clean. He's probably got enough left to get there, but we'll find out here shortly. I'm sure he'll close in if he has it.
15 to go right here, and let me tell you, it's a short distance to the finish, but a long way from the checkered flag. We know that for a fact. He didn't cut in any of that lap. He lost a little bit of time to Byron Daly, so if Comstock's going to win this race, he's got to gain, almost a 10th a second a lap now to catch Byron Daly, and then he's got to get around him once he gets there. So he's got a lot hanging on the line right now, as Josh Parker has caught the back bumper of Justin Fuller, trying to crack his way into a podium spot as they race off turn number 4. The battle going on behind them still between Coleman and Fockingham, Simley in there now, Howard and Cole and Yoakum all inside the top 10. A great battle back here. They're 2 wide and almost 3 wide at times.
And Ben, I just got a message here. Wanna give a shout out to our colleague Sean Yoder tuning in. Glad to see you tuning in to the race tonight, Sean.
Good to see Sean tuning in as Fuller tags the wall again. He's not going to like that Nemesis Labs machine falling back like it is. He had some good TV time early on, but now Fuller is going to drop outside the top 5 with that contact with the wall over in turn number 4. Look at this gaggle of cars. We may not have seen our final caution of the race, the way they're racing inside the top 10 here. Look at this. 2 by 2 by 2. You'd think it was a restart, but we've been racing for 30 laps. Whoa, they almost all get the wall. Look at Ryan Howard. He puts Chad Cole in the grass. Oh, there's contact. Cole gets sideways, 3 wide. For around the 9th position, Yoakum's in the mix. Howard, Cole, they're still 3 wide off turn 2. Great racing.
Wow, what a
3 wide.
Yeah, what a save by Chad Cole, man. This race has really picked up. How does Coleman have car left? He must. I don't know. These 2 tires are shocking right now, Ben.
Yeah, and remember, the leader is on the same strategy. 10 to go this time by for Byron Daly. Have we seen the final caution of the race? Here comes Daniel Fockingham. Remember, he was sideways on the front straightaway just 5 laps ago, and now he's back into a podium position.
Yeah, the race is really picking up with 11 to go here, Ben. Really turning into a magnificent race by this group at Sim500.
These guys are putting on a show tonight for sure. We've had 3 cautions, and the racing has been phenomenal though. All race long, these guys, they have had us on the edge of our seats. Chad Cole battling with Simley there for the 7th position, looks like. He may grab that off turn 4. Not going to get it there, though. Simley with the power down the front stretch from the outside line. So Cole will have to settle for 7th for the time being. That 35 machine, that's Brian Workman. He is 27 laps down, got some fresher tires, just trying to ride out the finish here at Kentucky. Up front, it is Byron Daly, 8/10 over David Comstock. There is a little bit of lap traffic between the two. Or not between the two, but between them and the finish. Actually, only one lap machine. That's Brian Chambliss in the 25. So we'll keep an eye on that, as well as everything else going on. We need about 7 eyes is what we need, as Scott Simley trying to hold off Fuller now. Or Scott Simley just got around Fuller, I should say, for that 6th position. Chad Cole going to be next in line to get around that number 51. And they get tight to the wall. Boy, you can tell they've used the tires up. They are running on tread back here in this pack, and they are putting on a good show doing it. Man, oh man, this has been a phenomenal last 10 laps. Comstock closing in on Daly, but I just don't think he's got enough. Chambliss the lap machine up and into the wall, out of Comstock's way. If Daly makes one mistake, Comstock's going to be there. It's just making Daly make a mistake is the hard part. 6 to go for the driver of the 06. Here we go with the numbers again.
Yeah, here we go, Ben. I mean, and he's also got 6 wins, right?
6 wins as well.
Well, hopefully it's about to be 7 if it keeps going the way it's going for him. Byron Daly, a hell of a job tonight. Whether he wins or not, what a performance.
Great performance indeed. And boy, Comstock looked like he was closing in down in 3 and 4, got tight on exit, but he still gained a little bit. Does Comstock have some left in the tank? 5 to go here at Kentucky. And we could settle this thing with green, white, check it if we have any problems.
Man, Comstock is inching closer every single lap.
And Daly is up the track there.
If Byron Daly makes a big enough mistake, Comstock will be there, and he has enough car to pass me.
Even a small mistake, and he's going to be there. Just imagine if Comstock didn't get shuffled back and outside the top 5 early in this run, where he'd be. He's there for sure. 3 to go. This time by at Kentucky.
He's starting to get that little bit of draft off the back of that 06 machine now.
Do we see a bumper in the final 3 laps? It's less than half a second now between the 2 leaders. Over 3 seconds back to second. Boy, we're just silent up here in the booth just watching this great race. 2 to go for Byron Daly. I don't think Comstock's going to be close enough.
We're just waiting for the pandemonium to happen.
Popsicle sticks for Byron Daly. 6 times he's visited victory lane so far this season. He has had a pretty uneventful race as Comstock gets a piece of the wall there. It's all said and done. Now it's just Daly out in front. One more clean lap. He'll get the white flag, this time at the flag stand. 1 lap to go for Byron Daly.
Byron Daly working it down into the corner to bring it onto the backstretch for the final time. What a pit call. What a strategy move for Byron Daly to try and pick up his 7th win of the season.
Absolutely. He didn't even sniff the lead early in the race. Out of nowhere, he decides to take 2 tires, and those 2 tires propel him to victory lane. Win number 7 for Byron Daly comes at Kentucky.
Wow, Ben. What a strategy call.
What a great race. Comstock holds on to finish second. And Daniel Falkingham rounds out the top 3. What a show by the Sim500 Kickass drivers. You know, usually we have a kick-ass moment of the race. This whole race was the kick-ass moment of the race.
Yeah, no question. I mean, it just goes to show you, Ben, the kind of talent that is in these drivers that race in this series. I mean, it is every night here recently. I mean, yeah, and times throughout the season, we have just got show after show of good racing.
Absolutely. Byron Daly burning it down on the front straightaway. His 7th victory of the season. We'll chat with him and the rest of the podium. Almost said the rest of the field. Boy, that'd be a long post-race show. The rest of the field right after this. Post-race celebrations on the front stretch as the teammate there, Jordan Hightower, trying to get in on the mix as well. Win number 7 for Byron Daly. We'll see what his thoughts are right after this.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to Kentucky Speedway as we get set for podium interviews here on the Sim Racing Network. We'll swing by first and chat with the driver who started third, finished third, maybe had a chance for the win there late in the run, but kind of got collected with one car on the wall in front of him and a great save, I'll say, down the front stretch there. Daniel Falkingham rebounded for a third place finish tonight in a wild race at Kentucky. Walk us through that final run there.
Hey, yeah, that was crazy, but kind of surprised that race went long as it did, or went green in the end as it did, but kind of disappointed with me checking up, or kind of disappointed that me and Coleman got together. Like I said, it was really neither of our faults. That was just me checking up for Fuller. He didn't hit the wall on my screen. I don't know what happened. It just got tight because he smacked the wall down a few times before then. And I just checked up, and I think I was trying to avoid him while Coleman was tracking out off of 4, and we just got together. But really neither of our faults. I don't think it's really anyone's fault there. But yeah, just one of those things, and kind of sucks because honestly, if I would have gotten around Coleman and I would have gotten around Fuller, probably on that lap, I think I had a chance to run down Daly. Or yeah, I think I had a chance to run down Byron, but not sure. But I feel like we could have at least second, but yeah, I feel like I kind of blew that on my part, but overall, good race, got out, led some laps, so always feels good. Probably, I will say this is probably my worst track on the entire schedule, so feels good to finally have a good run at this track, especially with how terrible the setup was. How terrible the setup was, because it literally just did not, like the front tires would they would just not respond at all. So yeah, it was pretty bad to deal with, but hey, we got through it.
Well, to finish third on the worst track on the schedule for you, so it's pretty big accomplishment. We had the New Hampshire next week, so how you feel about the mile up there?
very interesting because I actually will not be here next week because I will actually be at the race in Loudon next week. So, yeah, feels good to come here tonight, get a good points tonight because I won't be here next week. So, try to gain as many points as I could on my lead since it will pretty much be gone by next week. So, yeah, well, unfortunately won't be here next week, but yeah, I will be here tomorrow night and I will be here for the Cup race next week, but yeah, won't be here next week.
Well, sorry to hear that, but you enjoy yourself up there. Bring us back some lobster. And for tonight, who do you want to thank, though, for putting you on the podium?
I got to thank First Rate Bait, Lobster 207 for all they do, for all their support. Also got to thank everyone here at Sim500 who runs the show. Always fun to come out here and race. Always got to thank Cameron Coley for painting the car. Really beautiful paint scheme. Also got to thank all the drivers who come out and race each and every week. Thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, and thanks to everyone who watched the race. Family, friends, thank you.
Sounds good. Well, Daniel, enjoy your time in NASCAR next weekend, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow night here in the Cup Series.
10-4. Thank you, Ben.
There you have it. Daniel Falkingham coming home third tonight, and we'll move on up the leaderboard, rather, to the driver who, so close there at the end, and had he not got shuffled back early in that run, he may have had a chance to win this thing. David, how do you feel about the closing laps of that one?
I need to find a way where we can get rotation out of these things because it plows really bad. Like you could have plowed like another set of like turns to make this a 2 mile. That's how bad it was if there wasn't walls to contain your car. It was so freaking tight.
Tight, the name of the game tonight, and tire strategy a big deal. Talk about the long runs, how that came into effect.
Yeah, it was. I was surprised that the 2 tires lasted as well as it did for Byron. I mean, I was tracking him down once I got cleared to second. I was about a 10th quicker than him toward the end, but it was like in waves. I would try to hit my line as inputs as best as I could, as consistent as I could, and there'd be like batch of laps where I would be that 10th quicker, and then it would plateau or I'd lose a little bit, and then it would come back again on the right front. So definitely tire strategy, and it's difficult to pass him to begin with. So positioning yourself in the clean air out front, track position was really important. We got, like I said, we got shuffled back there. Josh Parker and I, we were just battling really hard, and it was just a racing deal. He was coming off the corner and was thinking that he was going to be able to have enough momentum on the bottom to clear up in front of me off the corner, but it was just a bad judgment call, and we were lucky to gather that one up. We barely hung on to it. So, but yeah, just try to just keep marching forward from that point on, and it was just so hard to keep the right front on it. It was just super tight.
Great points tonight here in Kentucky, and a great run. Definitely a boost of momentum heading into New Hampshire next week. Oh
yeah, definitely. It's always good to get these top 5 finishes, especially these top 3s, so we can do the interviews with you guys, talk to you guys, and tell you how bad that these B cars drive here anywhere. But hopefully, when we go to New Hampshire next week, that you'll have some opportunity to where it puts it more so in the driver's hands, and you'll be able to maybe do a little bit more with it to get it to step out some and get some yaw through the corner with it. So we'll see how it goes. I like New Hampshire, flatter tracks like that place. I always tend to do really well at them. So hopefully we can keep the momentum forward and maybe go after a checkered flag next week.
We'll look forward to that. Just one more spot. You got to do it. Who you want to thank, though, for putting you runner up tonight here at Kentucky?
Yeah, everybody at Aftermath Motorsports. Thank you to all them, all their support. You guys for broadcasting the league for us. Sim500 and the admins putting on the league for us, and our league owner Joey. Happy birthday to him. It's his birthday, as well as Lockhart, another competitor in our field today. So happy birthday to those guys. Congrats to Byron on the win. I don't know how many times that battle that I've had with him, where I've been on the losing side with him lately. He's killing it. He's dominating the field with the series. So, but the sponsors in the car, racingbiz.com. If you go onto Facebook, search them up. We got live auctions going on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and mini auctions going all week long. Check out their page on Facebook. Gary Mercer Trucking, Monster Energy, Jay Laird, JDR Graphics for Paint My Car, and all the friends and fans out there watching. Thank you guys.
There you have it, David Comstock, runner-up tonight. Dave, thanks for the chat.
Thank you, guys.
He said he's come second to Byron Daly many times this season. I'm not sure of the count, but we do know how many wins Byron Daly has this season. And with the checkered flag tonight, it makes win number 7. Byron, win number 7 this season. Are you going to let somebody else win one of these things?
No, honestly, I like winning. Winning's a lot of fun, so I'm gonna try to keep doing that as much as possible.
Well, I can tell you one thing: you're doing a heck of a job at it. And talk about the race tonight. I mean, for the first half of the deal, you weren't anywhere near the lead. I don't know if that was by design or if your car just wasn't feeling the way it needed to be. And then we have a caution, 10 laps after another caution, and you and your team just throw us out of the water. I mean, you made me speechless, and that's a pretty hard task to do. 2 tires on the pit stop. You and Coleman tried it, and I tell you what, you shocked us all. It worked phenomenal. And do you think that's what propelled you to victory lane tonight?
Oh, for sure. It's so, like, I've been trying to say this for the last few weeks, but the setups are really tight. So when you try to race anybody, you just get even tighter. And I really couldn't do anything from the beginning of the race on. That call for 2 tires, put me up front, and I just took advantage of it and, raced hard and tried to keep it as long as I could. And all of a sudden, things started coming back my way, and it's just so hard to pass that if you don't get it done, the odds of you getting past just go down with every lap. And luckily, I made it long enough to where it paid off.
Yeah, it was certainly a great show. You had a lot of battling going on behind you there. I don't know if you even looked in the mirror, but it was pretty wild behind you, and that certainly helped you stay out a little bit ahead of everybody. But man, what a great job tonight. The call on pit road was just phenomenal, and your driving on track to keep the tires under you all night long was great as well. We congratulate you on that. Looking for win number 8 at New Hampshire next week. How do you feel about that?
I feel pretty good about it. I like that track. It's definitely another one that's difficult to pass on, but just for totally different reasons. It's the bottom line isn't really so good. The top is, when I say the top, it's more the middle of the track for a groove. It seems like on iRacing, so it makes it really hard to pass. But if you're quick around there, it's fun to drive. So we'll see. I mean, I hope so.
So looking for win number 8. Win number 7, though, tonight here at Kentucky. Who do you want to thank for putting you in victory lane?
Oh, again, just, Sim500 for putting on this league. It's always fun to do. You guys for broadcasting it. Kickass Beef Jerky for sponsoring the series. It's been a blast.
There you have it, Byron Daly. Win number 7 tonight at Kentucky. Boy, oh boy, just inching up, or racking up the wins, rather, here in Sim500. We wish you the best of luck in the rest of the season, and look forward to seeing New Hampshire next week.
Thank you.
There you have it, Byron Daly. Just a phenomenal run tonight, and as the case in many of his races as of late in the Kickass series, Aaron. What a not really a dominant performance from Daly tonight, but later in the later half, rather, once he took those 2 tires. I mean, he was hard to pass, and he just held it as smooth as possible and made it tough to pass him, and that's what ultimately secured him the victory.
Yeah, I mean, we wrote him off. As soon as he did it, we wrote him off. But then after a lap or two, I touched on it. Maybe the clean air was enough of a buffer for him to stay out there. And then when all that pandemonium behind him happened, where faster cars lost positions, then they had to drive all the way through. They burnt their stuff up, and then Comstock, getting into the wall late, making that mistake. I mean, it all played into his hands. I'm not gonna say that it wasn't luck, but it probably had something to do with that Ross Chastain paint scheme, Ben.
It certainly could have been. 7 wins for Byron Daly. That's a feat in its own in this caliber of competition here in Sim500, especially in the Kick-Ass series. What a race. Kentucky always provides some great racing. You'll get to see more great racing at Kentucky tomorrow in the Trans Service Cup Series. That'll be live right here on the Sim Racing Network. Join John Amushin, Aaron Grosskopf, and whoever else decides to hop on the microphone tomorrow. It's really up in the air. It could be anybody. You know, we have a vast majority, or a vast variety rather, of people itching to get on the microphone. So we'll just join us tomorrow on the Sim Racing Network. It's going to be a great show tomorrow night as well. For Aaron Grosskopf tonight, doing double duty, doing a great job as always. I am Ben Kilcrease for Kickass Beef Jerky, and for everyone at Sim500, want to send out a big happy birthday to Joey Jatina and also Jonathan Lockhart today too. So hopefully those guys had a great night, a great day. They finished 15th and 16th coincidentally tonight as well. So happy birthday to those guys, and for everybody else, we'll see you tomorrow night. Remember, when you're out there on the roads, to put that phone down. Good night from Kentucky.